Welcome to Last Match Standing, the podcast where we review, relive, and rank the 100 greatest wrestling matches of all time. As always, I'm Spencer, and I'm actually flying solo today because it is my great honor that I get to interview one-on-one Big Ramp himself from PW225, Pro Wrestling 225 here in the Baton Rouge area. I want to just start really Big Ramp and just say that I could very easily go on about how you've been so great with Gil Gracie over the last couple of years, and obviously Chase Bell is Rookie of the Year and some other things, and we'll dive into that sort of thing. But I feel like there's way more to the story than just what we see in the last 6 to 8 months here in PW225. So I want to really know, who is Big Ramp? Tell me the story. How did you get to where you are? And give me that resume. People want to know.
Okay, well, I've been doing wrestling for about 10 years now, almost 10 years, something like that. But before I got into wrestling, I've had a lengthy music career that has afforded me to be places and meet people and do things and, to get myself moving around, such as, and it landed me TV jobs and radio jobs. So that allowed me to, get my Big Ramp Enterprises brand in places where usually a usual wrestling brand wouldn't be. So, that allowed me to manage 7 recognized world champions between the NWA and AIWF, 71 champions around the whole world, far as from different promotions. I try to get it in and try to keep it moving. I'm always looking for new talent, especially now, now I'm looking more to elevate new talent. I'm trying to do things with the with the newer generation. Since I've been around for a while now, I've been blinked and I've been around for a while now. So it's
it's funny how fast it goes, isn't it?
Yeah, man, because I can remember when I just was starting, man. It's like somebody just sent me some footage from my first promo. And I was like, oh, my goodness, it was so cringeworthy. It was cringeworthy.
I feel the same way when I just listened to, we started this show here, Last Match Standing, just over a year ago. And even listening to those first episodes 1 year ago, it feels like, man, we've grown so much in just that 1 year. So for you, 10 years later in the wrestling business, you've seen it all by now, right? You've got to be proud of that, of your longevity.
Right, man, because it's like when I got into the wrestling business, the people that I got into the wrestling business with, I don't think they just kind of wanted me to do the raffle and just show up and be like, hey, I'm the dude from the radio station and all that. You know what I'm saying? So so you know what I'm saying. They didn't think I actually had a real actual passion for the business, for this industry. You know what I'm saying? Just for wrestling in general, but I grew up with wrestling, you know what I'm saying? And it's you know what I'm saying? I don't know why they didn't think I was going to take it that serious and make the type of moves I made.
That's a really interesting point. Here we are now, 10 years later, right? Like you said, from when you first got into the wrestling business specifically, but it's not like you already hadn't built a name for yourself from what it sounds like. Big Ramp Enterprises, when I think about wrestling managers, so to speak, they stay in that bubble. They kind of get related to that one or two superstars that really carry, their legacy. But it sounds like you've been able to do something that grows your name, not just giving it, strength in the wrestling bubble, but also outside of that, with your music career and all that other stuff. You have an actual brand that you can use in and out of the ring. And I think that's a big deal.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The first thing, one of the people that I talked to about wrestling was Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman told me I really needed to brand myself. So I made it a point to brand myself from that moment on. You know what I'm saying? And Jimmy Hart also, you know what I'm saying? Those fellas, Jimmy Hart also does music. He sold a ton of records that people never talk about. The amount of records that Jimmy Hart has sold. Mm-hmm. He made he was in a group He was in a group, the Gentries, and they sold 1 million copies, like in the 50s or 60s or something like that. And then, but after that, he made all so a lot of the original introduction music for a lot of the WWF. You know what I'm saying? For a lot of them cats, like he wrote a lot of that stuff, and especially in WCW. So that stuff was all selling. So he was making music money while he was still dealing with the wrestling. So that showed me that it can actually be done and done correctly.
Wow. Yeah, I talking about being able to promote yourself, and I mean, doesn't that help extend your career because you can do more than just walk guys out to the ring, and obviously managing is way more than that. And I don't mean to take anything away from it, but being able to sell yourself in other ways only benefits you.
Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a plus for any client that is under the Big Ramp Enterprises umbrella, because that it opens the door up for so many things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it opens the door up for, hey man, come with me to this movie set. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I got this role I'm doing, and I'm gonna see if I can get you in it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or come. I have a music video I'm shooting. Hey man, come get a cameo in the video. It's gonna be on like BET and MTV and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm increasing everybody's brand around me. The promotions that I work for, like, you know what I'm saying, they get coverage from places that they probably wouldn't, from different demographics. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to bridge the gap. I'm trying to bridge the gap.
Wow. First of all, so much respect for that. I mean, that's really incredible. And the fact that the way that you've decided and the way that you've been able to build yourself up is by building others up around you. I mean, that's super commendable. I mean, that's a big deal. So the fact that joining Big Ramp Enterprises means more than just the name, being able to do more than just that one thing that you think you're signing up for. I mean, it makes you a hot commodity, so to speak. So when you do land a new client and they do choose you, regardless of promotion, they're signing up for more than what you would expect from just a regular wrestling manager, right? I think you have so much more to offer.
Right, because I mean, I look at the wrestling managers like Gary Hart and Paul Ellering, like really Paul Ellering. Like Paul Ellering used to do a lot of stuff for the Road Warriors, the Legion of Doom. That, like, you know what I'm saying, he used to do a lot of stuff for his clients, the clients that he had. Precious Paul used to do a lot of stuff for his clients. So, you know what I'm saying. So I tried to take that and bring that into the digital age, as far as, like, you know what I'm saying, making sure that on my platform, that, you know what I'm saying, because I host a television show called Fat and All That. It's been on for over 20 years. I host that show, and I have a radio show. So I make sure that my clients are with all of the other stars, because all of my clients are stars. So if I have an interview with Drake, I have Gil Gracie on the same thing with Drake. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, if I have Lil Wayne on, I have Chase Bell on with Lil Wayne. If I have Amber Rodriguez on, I have her on with Nicki Minaj. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I feel like every client that's under my banner who fooling with me, they are stars. I'm a star. We stars. We shining. And you know what I'm saying? And the only way you can see the stars is if you look up in the sky. You know what I'm saying? So the stars are surrounded by other stars. So that's where you're supposed to put them at.
You are, I mean, just completely spot on. And just to kind of mention Pro Wrestling 225, I think it's very clear when if you're in the crowd, right, and you're watching a show for PW225, there's a very clear difference between, and this is not knocking anyone else, but there's a clear difference between those that are under the Big Ramp umbrella and those that are not. Because you're right, once you're under that Big Ramp umbrella, it's very distinct. The kind of effort that you're putting into it and the kind of shining that those guys really get to do under your brand. There's a very distinct difference between those that have and those that have not in terms of that. And so the fact that I can see that just under the PW225 arena, if I expand that outlook to the 20 years in television and the radio and all the different wrestling promotions that you've worked with, I mean, that's got to leave a legacy that you're proud of right now, right?
Right. That's why I don't care. I don't care about what none of them mouth-hugging test tube babies sausage heads have to say at Pro Wrestling 225, none of the fans, none of them at all, because they know exactly that I get results, and I'm only doing the things that I do to get results for my clients. And I think if they were in the exact same position that I was, they would do the exact same thing for their people. Don't you go off for the rest of the people on your podcast? You go off for them, right?
Right.
Right. So I'm going to go off for Gil. I'm going to go off for Chase. I'm going to go off for Tyson Dean. I'm going to go off for Amber Rodriguez. Like, that's just my people at 225. Like, you know what I'm saying? And everywhere else, I'm going to go off for Rodney Mack. I'm going to go off for Jack Dane. I'm going to go off for Tim Storm. I'm going to go off for all of these people. Like they don't understand. I go off for them. Even if I'm not physically out there with them no more. Like, even if I don't accompany to the ring, that don't mean I'm gonna stop promoting them. I still promote them to this day.
Mm-hmm. It's a real partnership, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like by me being somebody who got into the wrestling business later on in life, like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like by them taking me, by them taking me on the road and teaching me things, and you know what I'm saying, and not just doing like, you know, how most other entertainers that come into wrestling, they're one and done. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're like, hey man, you'll be on that for a little while, then after that, that's it, and then they're never to be seen on wrestling again.
Right.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I never talked about my music and none of this other stuff. I came in from the wrestling and I did it from the ground up because the way I got into wrestling was a funny way because of the radio, like dealing with Jeff Jarrett and them. So I easily could have just went straight like to TNA or something, but I wanted to start from the bottom, like from the bottom of independent wrestling and work my way up. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like I got friends in WWE. I've always had friends in WWE. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's not like I could have easily just, you know what I'm saying, circumvented all of this. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like I want to be in control of my brand. I don't want to go nowhere and then they change my name to something. I don't want my name to be, you know what I'm saying, it's just something else. I want to be Big Ramp everywhere I go. Like, so in order to do that, you have to go in with leverage. And the leverage I have is I have a music career. I have movies I'm in, TV shows, like, you know what I'm saying, outside of wrestling. So you can't just change my name and it's gonna affect some things. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
So do you think, I mean, and I just want to take it from what you said, be in control of your brand, and that's super important to you. Do you take some pride in the fact that you haven't just automatically jumped up to, I don't want to say, you know, the big league, so to speak, in terms of TNA and WWE, but do you take some pride in the fact that you've been able to stay Big Ramp this whole time and build your legacy from the ground up?
Yes, because like working with the NWA, I love the NWA. Okay, I love the NWA. I grew up off the NWA. You know what I'm saying? Like I was really working with them a lot in the last regime that was there before Corgan got there. You know what I'm saying? I still got a lot of clients that still work there. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a good place for me. Like, I'm saying, like I got clients that Ring of Honor and stuff like that, the reality of wrestling. And you know what I'm saying? So it's like, what exactly is the big time? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm doing all this, you know what I'm saying, and I'm on a nice wrestling platform, like Pro Wrestling 225, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I make sure that Pro Wrestling 225 gets mentioned with everything else that I get mentioned with. Pro Wrestling 225 is mentioned with that too, because I feel like that promotion has a nice mix of veterans and stars that you've seen on television and new and up and coming talent. And you know what I'm saying? I rather be there, and I would help promote that because I work with all of the promotions down here in Louisiana. Any promotion that's in Louisiana, there's footage of Big Ramp being there and working there, even if they don't tell you or not. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, sir.
Like I work for every last one of them, from your Wildcats to your Elevate to your Elites to your GSW. To you know what I'm saying, like main event, everything. I've worked all these places. I've worked with the talent from all these places. Like, you know what I'm saying? So You know what I'm saying? I just want to do my part and bring wrestling into the next generation. Like these little bitty kids that's coming to wrestling, the little bitty kids are going to be teenagers soon, and then they might have more little kids, and I want them to have somewhere to come. You know what I'm saying? I want them to have somewhere to, you know what I'm saying, somewhere to really, like just like I did. Like I grew up. My sister was in the military, and she was stationed all around the country. So I got to go to the sportatorium for world class. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got to go to, like, PW225, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying, in, like, Memphis and Arkansas and stuff. I got to go to all this stuff as a kid. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I have those memories of those people, and those people remember me. Like, you know what I'm saying, as being a little snot-nosed kid that's actually in wrestling now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you never know what new wrestling characters you creating by just even being there.
Well, isn't that the best thing you can do? And you know, they talk about this in the wrestling industry all the time about how the best way to leave is you know, putting the next guy over, right? That's kind of the phrase that they've always used. But the idea that you're able to build something up for other people to take onto and to latch onto and to enjoy, not just while you're doing it, but the generation after and the generation after that. Isn't that the biggest thing you can do to give back to the industry?
Right.
And let me tell you something, Big Ramp. I got to tell you, you play. You know, when I see you at PW225, you're not the nicest guy. If there's PW225 listeners listening to this episode, they're not going to believe you when you're mean out there at the ring, because you sound like a really good dude right now.
I don't care if the sausage heads and test tube babies of Pro Wrestling 225 don't believe what I say. I don't believe what they say. It's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy in Pro Wrestling 225 anyway. You know why it's a conspiracy? Because the Mad Dog Gil Gracie was robbed of the Pro Wrestling 225 championship from Corey Constantine because his paint on his face. His pain on his face caused an allergic reaction to my champion, and it started the coronavirus. Yeah, that's what happened.
Wow. That is a bold statement, Big Ramp. Are you backing that up?
Yes, I back on everything I say. Now with that being said, Corey Constantine is a cheater. He is a cheater, and he cheated to win that belt because he had a whole bunch of people to come out there and help him win the title. I said it. You can quote me on it. Sign, seal, deliver.
Wow. Okay, so Corey Constantine wins the belt thanks to outside assistance, is what you're saying. But what about wasn't Chase Bell out there helping Gil?
Listen, but that was understood from the get go because when Gil music hit, I came out. Chase came out. Mm-hmm. That was understood when the bell rung. We was already out there. Then so then later on in the match, all of a sudden, they got three Mustang people come out there. Mustang Mike, egg-sucking dog came out there. Purple Ace, the test tube baby himself came out there. And Wild Thing himself came out there. Sticking their noses in Big Round Enterprises business, and I will deal with every last one of them accordingly when we come back off quarantining and chilling.
Okay, so let me ask you that question then, because obviously 225 Mania, Corey Constantine was originally set to defend against Gil Gracie when that show was set to be back in April. That obviously has been pushed back to August 29th of this year. Is that still the plan for Gil to get a shot back at that championship?
I don't know, because Corey Constantine's scared. He's scared. He the reason we ain't do it. Because I told him, I sent him a message myself. I sent it to you and to your listeners and everybody could see it. I said, because you know that was right after the Firefly Funhouse and all that stuff.
Right.
I said, you can come to the Dog Emporium, and we can have a Dog Emporium match right anywhere. We don't need to have, you know what I'm saying? We can just film it and let everybody see it. You can get your butt whipped, and we can go on and film it. You could come to the junkyard where we at, and you could have a fight with Gil for the title. Matter of fact, you should have nailed it back in.
Wow. First of all, I would have paid good money to watch that. I think a lot of people would have.
But see, that's the thing. Don't think that I don't see that Corey Constantine is a first class athlete. I started to recruit him at a time in life when he didn't wear paint. And when he started wearing paint and dressing like Beetlejuice, I was like, dude, you're a little too weird. You got to relax. It's a little too much. But either way it goes. Like, you know what I'm saying? I tried to, like you were saying, like, there's a whole bunch of talent in Pro Wrestling 225.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I feel like, man, we can do so much. We can do so much. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why I told you. When I saw you, when I saw you, I was inside the barricade at the show. Mm-hmm. And I said, hey, it's about time I talk to you. You talking to everybody else and you ain't talking to me. You a sausage head, and you're a chef too, baby. That's what I told all three of y'all. All three of y'all.
And to be fair, I think we deserved it. Because if we were gonna start interviewing at PW225, I think we should have started at the top with Big Ramp, don't you think?
Facts. But it's cool. It's cool though. It's cool because see, that's why you get to have the one-on-one exclusive with me, and I refused to talk to the other two.
Well, first of all, I appreciate it. I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and the other guys, Landon and Paul, are missing out. So I'll be sure that they get the message that when we see you in person next time, you don't even have to look at them.
No, what's going to happen is when I see all three of y'all, I will say, Landon, you're a chef too, baby. Paul, you're a sausage head. But that's my boy. You're my boy. You're right.
That's right. See, the perks that you get with this one-on-one, I'm grateful already. I gotta ask you, Big Ramp, because we mentioned Gil Gracie, right? And obviously the goal is to get the title back on him for the third time. But I want to ask you also about Chase Bell, Rookie of the Year in PW225 in 2019. First of all, how big of a deal was it by getting Chase Bell to be one of your new clients, and what do you see as his ceiling? Where do you see the growth for Chase Bell going?
All right. I've been scouting Chase Bell for a long time. Not just in wrestling, because I knew he was a star. Before Chase Bell was in wrestling, Chase Bell did a lot of. He's a gymnast,
right?
Like nobody knows this. He's a damn gymnast. So you know what I'm saying. So I look for talent in different places. So I went to a meet, and I saw Chase at a meet, and he was doing flips and all kind of stuff, and flying up strings and all kind of things, all some Cirque du Soleil stuff. And I was like, well, damn, you are extremely talented, dude. I said, you know what? I have a plan for you. And I talked to him about it, and then I told him to make an omelet. You got to break a couple eggs, you see. And if you could look back, you seen how he came in. Like, you know what I'm saying? He came in interfering in title matches and interfering in this, and he saved me from the Nightmare Jeremiah, and I'm forever in his debt now. Right. And so I'm going to make sure that Chase Bell is a star. He's already a star, but I'm gonna make sure that he shines like no other. He's the main attraction. That's what he is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he went to New Japan. He went to the dojo. We stepped into the dojo. He got some other stuff going on. See, people don't know these things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said about Rodney Mack. You know what I'm saying? Like he got some all kind of other stuff going on. Like that's why when we come back off quarantining and chilling. Oh my goodness. There's gonna be hell to pay. There's gonna be hell to pay because we feel played. I felt bamboozled. I felt run amok. I felt led astray. I felt like Plymouth Rock landed on me. It was not right. What happened at Pro Wrestling 225? So you know what I'm saying. So now it's war time. It's war time at Pro Wrestling 225 now. Like, I'm not even playing. I might not even wear suits. I might not even wear suits when we come back. I might come back in my gear the whole time because you know why? Because we TTG. You know what TTG means?
What's that?
We train to go.
Ooh. Wow. I mean, listen, if that's what's happening, if you just made that declaration, if you said this is the time, now's the time that we're going to come out, you're tired of being bamboozled, and you're not even going to wear the suit we're done quarantining, you're going to come back out and really try to get your revenge and get things back on the right track for Big Ramp Enterprises. I think that puts the whole PW225 locker room on notice.
We want all the belts. There's a tag team tournament that they didn't let us get in. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's an SEC title that they never let us get at. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, okay. Like, I have clients all around the world. So it's nothing for me to bring in a Big Rap Enterprises team or bring in a former client. And you know what I'm saying? Or make amends with somebody that I used to manage and be like, hey, man, come back home. You already know I treated you good. Like, you know what I'm saying? You made great money with me. Like, you know what I'm saying? We won belts everywhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're like, hey, I know you missed that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of former clients in 225 that I have that, you know, we're not talking about. But if people, you know, Google is their friend, if they Google my name, they'll see that my name has been attached to a lot of people.
Speaking of that point, of being attached to all sorts of different names, do you have any, you know, because like you said, you've been in the wrestling business for almost a decade now. Do you have any names that you look back really fondly on that maybe you still work with or you don't work with anymore that you think like, wow, that was a really good time having them under the Big Ramp Enterprise? Like that was a big thing, not just for their career, but for mine as well.
Well, you know, you know, Rodney Mack. Rodney Mack, you know what I'm saying? He like one of the ones. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Gil Gracie, you know what I'm saying? I learned a lot with Tokyo Monster, Kahagas. You know what I'm saying? Like the time I spent with Kevin Sullivan and Kahagas.
Yeah.
The time I spent with Kevin Sullivan and Kahagas, I learned so much. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody who I interact with, I take something from and I learn from. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and most times I kind of record the footage and put it on my YouTube channel. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's like, so the stuff I'm saying, like I don't want anybody to think that, oh, he's just saying stuff. Like, no, you can Google is your friend. All you have to do is just Google these names together, and you can see that it's really real. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I just try to take the things that I get from everybody and mix them all up, and then put my hip hop spin on it, and then that's where we going. I'm trying to forge a little different thing going on. I'm trying to do some things that some people tried to do, but they didn't have. I don't want to say they didn't have enough passion to do it, but it's like it wasn't equally yoked. Is what I'm saying. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love to entertain. I love music. I love television. I love radio. I love that. Right?
Right, absolutely.
And I love wrestling. Professional wrestling. I love professional wrestling, not sports entertainment. Professional wrestling, just as much. But I care for sports entertainment, too. I'm not saying I don't like sports entertainment, but I care for it. You know what I'm saying? But I love pro wrestling, because that's what I grew up watching. I grew up going to Mid-South and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, going to Chalmette and going to the Superdome to see Junkyard Dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know what I'm saying? I have a different feel about wrestling than a lot of my counterparts, because I'm a little bit older. Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
but don't you think that's helped you? Because you can not only can you take what you know from professional wrestling before it was really sports entertainment, right? In past 2000 or so, but you also have the background in radio and TV. And as natural of an entertainer as you very clearly are, you throw all those tools into one tool bag, and it seems like it's prepared you really well to be successful in professional wrestling now.
Right. But I also feel like dealing with professional wrestling and dealing with all the characters and like behind the scenes and dealing with all this other stuff and being back on the road in the wrestling capacity, I feel like it helped me to deal with the other end too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because certain things, as far as psychology-wise, that I've implemented, that I've learned being in the ring with a microphone, like with a hot mic. You know what I'm saying? I've learned to do when I'm performing now musically. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've learned to work the crowd a little better Like, you know what I'm saying? Because of the wrestling.
Right.
Like, you see what I'm saying? So now, when I come out, I'm kind of cutting promos when I come out now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
That's got to be
hey,
fun,
like,
right? That's got to be a ton of fun, being able to relate the two of those things together.
yeah, but it's kind of hard because, you know, cause like when I'm at the music stuff, it's kind of hard not to call the people in the crowd test tube babies and sausage heads and
That probably wouldn't
motherfuckers
go over as
and
well in that crowd,
face.
don't you think?
Oh, right. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you know what I'm saying? That's the thing. That's kind of why I kind of don't perform at the wrestling either. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I know that they're already predetermined. They're already ready. They're already ready to boo me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So even if I sung the greatest song in the world, like if I had a voice like Pavarotti, right? If I had a voice like Pavarotti mixed with Chris Brown, if I was Pavarotti Brown, right? They would still boo me.
I shouldn't start calling you Pavarotti Brown, right? Like that shouldn't be your new name.
Hey, man. If you don't want me to call you a new name, it's on you.
Okay, fair enough. I'm backing off. Okay, so let me ask you this. For our show, what we generally do is we rank wrestling matches, right? Some of the greatest wrestling matches of all time. But I want to make it specifically tailored to you, right? So we're last match standing, but with you, let's do last manager standing. So I know you've mentioned a couple of names: Paul Heyman, Jimmy Hart, Paul Ellering. Do you have any other guys that you think, if you're making a Mount Rushmore, so to speak, of wrestling managers, anybody else that makes that list?
Bobby Heenan.
Absolutely.
Bobby Heenan, Mr. Fuji. Oh man, woman. Let's not never leave Miss Nancy, our woman. Let's not never leave her. She's done a lot managing. Sensational Sherry, when she was on a managing blast. Who else? J.J. Dillon. Man, I could go all day. Then I got some homeboys. Like Chris Trevion, like, you know what I'm saying? Like Nigel Rabbit, Chris Trevion, rest in peace to Nathan Rack. They got Hollywood Jimmy. There's so many people. There's so many people that you know what I'm saying? Like I even like Brett. I don't tell him I said that, but I even like Brett too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I even like him when he's not there to sausage head and test tube, baby. Like, I even like him. Like, you know what I'm saying? I like Preston Bentley. Like, he's a new manager. I like him. I like Preston Bentley. That be with Cali Heat. You know what I'm saying? Like, even Pretty Tony. Even though me and Pretty Tony had our run-ins over the years, you know what I'm saying? I still think that he's somebody who should be in the wrestling business because he brings something different to the table.
Right.
Even though he probably can't see over the table, but he brings something different to it.
But he does bring something different, and in a world like professional wrestling, different is almost always a good thing.
Yes, that's the whole thing. Like, man, that's why everybody who's at Pro Wrestling 225 plays an intricate part. Like, you know what I'm saying, from the security dudes to the ring dudes, to even though to that chump Bryce Boudreaux, even to the announcer. You know what I'm saying? Because he's the voice of Louisiana.
He sure is, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's the voice of Louisiana. Yes, he is.
So I did mention this.
Did you hear the sarcasm in my voice?
It was very deadpan. I knew you didn't mean it, but he
don't put respect on our name. He don't put respect on our name, so that's why I be having to put that chump in the corner and make him say it with his chest.
I've noticed it. I don't think you guys hang out a whole lot outside of the ring. It doesn't look like you guys have the best relationship.
No, I can't hang. You know what? Let me tell you something. But I also respect what he does. I like his podcast that he has. I like the experience with Bryce Boudreaux.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I like that. Even though I feel like he's a chump. You know what I'm saying? And he pans and says yes. But that's a whole other thing and a whole other story for a whole other time.
That would have been an interesting one because we had Bryce on the show a month or so ago, and
I know. I I follow your show. That's why I told you what I told you when you had Corey Constantine
I
on
remember.
there.
Maybe we should have Bryce and Big Ramp on the same episode. Do you think that goes over well?
Well, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. You can have all the Boudreaux on there. You can have Bryce Boudreaux. You can have Billy Boudreaux. You can have every last Boudreaux you know on there. It could be the Boudreaux versus Rep. All the Boudreaux, everywhere. Every Boudreaux you know.
We're in Louisiana, so there's a lot of those. But sign me up.
That's what I know. Because it seems like every person with the last name Boudreaux got a problem with me some kind of way. Bryce Boudreaux don't put respect on my name. Billy Boudreaux don't put respect on my name when he be announcing, when he do his commentary. The other Boudreaux that play baseball don't play baseball. And you know what? It's just too much.
It is a lot. It is a lot. You do seem to have a pretty sizable target on your back.
Yes. I know my man's big, but that don't mean put a target on it. Don't push me because I'm close to the edge. I'm just trying to keep my head. It's like a shoulder contaminator wonder how I keep from going under.
So Big Ramp, I got to ask, I did mention Last Manager Standing, and everybody you listed was awesome. I personally, like, Sensational Sherry is just one of my favorites of all time. She was so good in that role, and obviously Paul Ellering, Bobby Heenan. I mean, you named all sorts of really, really great. Mr. Fuji, of course. But in terms of last match standing, do you have any matches that stand out? Like your favorite matches that you think maybe that you've been actually there for, or ones that you just know that were some of the greatest of all time? Do you have any favorites?
I would say one of my most favorite matches that I was actually at was Ric Flair versus Ricky Steamboat in the Superdome for the Clash of Champions.
You were there for the Cajun?
Yeah. Because it's a funny story because I ordered, because they had like a WrestleMania going on at the same time.
Yeah.
I ordered the pay-per-view. I ordered like my grandma. My grandmother ordered the pay-per-view for me, but my sister came in town and she had surprised me with the Clash of the Champions tickets to go because I was doing good in school and I was doing good playing football and stuff. But that's neither here nor there. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, what you want to do? So we ordered. I told my grandmother to change it to the replay. Like when they used to come on like again after.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so I went to the Clash of Champions and I seen Ric Flair. I seen Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat. I seen Ricky Steamboat beat Ric Flair for the world title.
Wow.
So,
I mean, that trio of matches they had, that series of matches, still, I mean, here we are 30 years later, some of the greatest matches of all time. Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat from that same series at Wrestle War 1989, which I think was the one right after the one in New Orleans, is on our list, and we've talked about putting the one from New Orleans. So the fact that you were there, that's an incredible story. That had to be one of the greatest things that you were able to watch in person. That's awesome.
Well, yeah, that's one of them, and another one is like when Sid Vicious first came to like world class. Mm-hmm. Like my sister was stationed. My sister was stationed out there. We was out there in Texas, and Sid Vicious. I saw Sid Vicious before, like when we were in Arkansas, because he was like in CWA. He was in like CWA. He was like the champion. So I was like, man, who is this? He is, oh my goodness! He used to jump. He used to jump into the ring. Like, Brock Lesnar jumped into the ring. He was the first person I ever saw do that. Like, and I was like a little kid, and I was so amazed. And then he came there, and then he beat Terry Von Cup. Terry Von was like a man to me.
Oh, yeah.
When I was a kid. So I was like, man. And then after I saw that, then I started liking the bad guys. And then I got into Gary Hart and Scandal Akbar and all these people like that. You know what I'm saying? And then that kind of formulated into what you see today.
Wow, it kind of started with Sid Vicious beating Kerry Von Erich. That's fascinating.
Yeah, because before that I was pro Von Erich versus the Freebirds. I was pro Von Erich versus Devastation Incorporated. Mm-hmm. I was pro Von Erich versus just anybody. Like Von Erich versus the world. I used to try to put the claw on people. I got suspended from school. for putting the claw on a girl.
Who hasn't?
I don't know, but I got suspended. She ended up being my girlfriend later on in life. Oh. But I got suspended for putting the claw on her.
Oh no, that's first of all, I don't know how that's not the first thing that people know about you, but that's incredible. Wow, I mean you've come a long way since then. It seems.
Yeah, I have. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I still have those sentences sometimes. But sometimes when people be like, "Hey, touch your hair," I be wanting to bring that.
You have to stop yourself, right?
Yeah, so that's why I be like, okay. But half the people that be telling me cut my hair, they be like the women that's in the audience, and they have like bigger beards and mustaches than me. And it's like, I be like, I cut my hair when you shave your mustache, toots.
Well, listen, I'm giving you full permission. When you see Paul and Landon in person next time, you can by all means do the claw. I'm here for it.
Wait, who? When I say who? Salted Head and Test Tube, baby?
Yeah, those guys.
They are the official faces of Sausage Heads and Test Tube Babies. When I call people Sausage Heads and Test Tube Babies, I speak Landon and Paul now. I'm envisioning their faces on the whole crowd.
They'll be proud of that distinction, so I'll be sure to pass that message along.
That's cool. I'm putting them over. It's all good.
Well, Big Ramp, before I get you out of here, I want to say thank you again for the time. I mean, you have just been... you've been such a good time. I've really, really enjoyed it. But where can everyone find you? Where can they find your music? Where can they find you on social media? Where do they find you?
Okay. Is that part of the interview? Okay. Well, everybody, Big Ramp 504. Just put it all one word. BIGRAMP 504. That takes you to like my music, my YouTube, all that stuff like that. Or if you want to dig a little deeper, you can type in Big Ramp Wrestler, and some of my wrestling stuff is gonna come up. Or you can type Big Ramp Rapper or Big Ramp Rapper Wrestler. Either way it go. I have a group called Big Numbers. We got an EP out. You know what I'm saying? It's that has no cuss words on it. That's the one I recommend for the kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I have some other stuff that's over 18 that you want to check out. You can check that out too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Check me out on Fat Fat and all that. They have they still have the YouTube channel. Subscribe to Fat Fat TV because all my interviews with all the stars are on there. Like, you know what I'm saying? And all promotes the Pro Wrestling Network. I still do commentary on there with my homeboy LG. So make sure you check us out, bringing you all the wrestling from around the world, not just in Louisiana. It's like wrestling from all over. So, you know what I'm saying? So make sure you check that out. And I have a show tonight on Instagram Live on Big Ramp TV, at Big Ramp TV called The Big Ramp Up. So if you guys want to follow us over and tune in, it's all good too on Thursday night at 11 p.m. CST. I got a lot of stuff going on. Check me out on Queen of the South season 5, because we already done season 4. If you've seen the last couple episodes, you've seen me in the game with Teresa Mendoza.
You don't have a lot of time off, do you, Big Ramp?
No, time off for what? What I need time off for?
You got that right. I love that mentality. I love that. That's the way to do it, man.
Because you know why? Because you know what they said? Listen, there's a quote, and I'm going to leave you with this. They say if you do what you love, you'll never do a hard day's work in your life. And I'm doing everything that I love. Like the stuff, like, you know what I'm saying? I love wrestling. I love music. I love movies. I love, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love women. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everything. Like, everything I'm doing, everything that I love.
Big Ramp, I want to thank you so much for the time. I want to say on behalf of us, all of us, even Paul and Landon, safe and healthy lives for you and your family during this time. It's an important time right now, and we're with you, and hope that you guys have been okay through the pandemic and stuff as well. And just the fact that you were able to join us today was really, really fun. And this could have gone on another 2 hours, and we still would have had plenty to talk about.
Because we just scratched the surface, man. I'm gonna have to come back in a couple of months or something.
I'm in, and I'll keep it one-on-one. Paul and Lena won't get any of it. We'll keep it one-on-one because I would love to dig a little bit deeper, because I think with 20 years of TV, 10 years of wrestling, 7 world champions, and all that stuff, there's way more that we could talk about. Facts.
Man. But I enjoyed kicking it with you on here.
Well, listen,
that's what's so.
Big Ramp, I super appreciate it. As always, I'm Spencer, and this was Last Match standing.